call hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. Shalom. To the hopeful elect preaching this word in truth and sincerity. And to you, Rib, to your sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order. Right? Coming back to you with some more news, some headways, right? Because there's a lot of prophecies, a lot of news, a lot of riffraff, a lot of accusations, as far as, nation against nation. And, man, this year is already starting off spectacular, man, with all this chariot talk and, spy planes and all these other things. We got the chemicals going on, right? So I saw this news article that caught my eye. That I feel like it's gonna change your daily life as you know it, just a tad bit more inconvenient. And we're gonna get into it, right? Here's this article. China mocks Biden amid for being blind to the toxic mushroom cloud over Ohio while obsessing over balloons. Right? So what's going on is that Babylon right now has a bunch of events going on within the borders. And there's like a media blackout on this particular topic on blind to the toxic mushroom cloud. So there's been a couple of derailments. I think one in Ohio, one in Michigan, and I forgot where the other one is, right? They're somewhere in the middle of the U.S., aka Babylon, right? So within that range of train wrecks, there's a storm coming that's going to circulate all those chemicals all the way around, right? And I'm going to see if I can pull it up in a minute. But anyways, where these train wrecks are, there's going to be a storm and it's going to affect like 14 million people. And there's a big media blackout on it, right? They're not talking about it. So let's watch this video real quick.
We have Fox team coverage. Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon with more on what the
By the way, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Defense Department knows and does not know about what is in the skies. First up, White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich with the president's message. Good evening, Jackie.
Hey, good evening, Mike. President Biden revealed the 3 objects shot down since Friday were most likely tied to private companies or research institutions, but he defended his choice to blast them out of the sky following the Chinese spy balloon.
I gave the order to take down these 3 objects due to hazards to civilian commercial air traffic and because we could not rule out the surveillance risk of sensitive facilities.
Critics watching the president's remarks say he missed a golden opportunity to drive home the threat about China's spy program.
In the last several weeks, I've been informed that this is a program that our country has known about for some time. The Chinese are using balloons for surveillance purposes. They're using them also for offensive capabilities.
Lawmakers have been clamoring for better answers.
I mean, I've never been in briefings where I learned so little.
Left to wonder why Biden didn't speak sooner.
If a civilian had not spotted the spy balloon over Montana and reported it to the media, which did its job, would the White House have ever told us about this?
On the day of his physical, officials dismissing questions about the 80-year-old president's health and new calls from 2024 candidate Nikki Haley for a mental acuity test for candidates 75 and older.
We've heard these types of attacks or remarks before. Maybe they're forgetting the wins that this president has had over the last couple of years.
Biden, appearing unfazed by his morning at Walter Reed, touted new actions blacklisting 6 Chinese entities linked to their military spying efforts, to which China seems to have responded with sanctions on 2 major American defense manufacturers, Lockheed Martin and Ray.
By the way, Biden's a demon. He had put a yoke, tighter yoke on Israel back in the 90s and giving them double time for minor offenses, for offenses that are now legal, should I say. If you get caught with like, marijuana or whatever, then he would have threw the book at you. But now, everybody's smoking, right? So, anyways, not to deviate, but man, that man's a whole demon. But anyways, it says China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Friday ridiculed the Biden administration for focusing its energies on harmless objects in the U.S. airspace, but playing down the giant chemical fire in Ohio that has thousands of residents worried about long-term health consequences. So what China's doing is they're stirring the pot. See, they're making the people fight against the government. So there's a tumult in the in the crowd, man, which is gonna happen. U.S. is known for causing divide and conquer tactics. So it's just funny that right now they're tasting their own, what they say, taste your own medicine. That's exactly what's going on, man. They're trying to stir up the pot here, man, but really it's of the Lord. The Lord's have been making this, man. The people that are at peace with thee, right? He's going to cause the people that are at peace with thee to become your enemy, right? It says the spokesman for the ministry, Wang Wenbin, was asked to respond to the claim from the White House that China was deflecting from the spy balloon incident by sanctioning U.S. companies this week, right? What does that mean? It means that a lot of the U.S. Commerce, anything produced in America, basically is made in China. So what China's doing is they're raising their cost to production cost, which in turn will raise the cost of American consumer prices to go up, right? And what does China make? They make plastics, they make electronics, they make medications, right? They also send over their fentanyl, but that's a whole nother topic. You see, we are already in a recession in a sense, but we haven't hit the peak yet. Biden, the demon himself, told you there was going to be a famine like no other. And when he says it, it's a warning that he will make it happen if need be, or the powers that be. So I wouldn't take that threat lightly. And we see it here, unraveling through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because the way the Lord moves, man, is just that he moves his chess pieces accordingly, man, to make whatever it is that he said he was going to happen by any means, right? It says, in response, Wang accused the Biden administration of continuing to focus on China, even the expense of the health of its own citizens. Speaking of deflecting, can the U.S. tell us why it is able to see the balloons 18,000 meters above ground, but seems to have been blinded to the toxic mushroom cloud of vinyl chloride over Ohio? Wang said. That's a good point he made. Although they're not really, doesn't sound like China's denying the balloon thing. It's just saying like, okay, you got bigger things to worry about than us, putting a camera on you, because they have satellites in orbit. They don't even have to go above, they could see basically the time on a watch just from the sky. They don't need to do these balloons. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're true or not, I don't know. But all I do know is that we do have something going on in Babylon where the toxic mushroom cloud of vinyl chloride is a major health concern. And we already know how Babylon feels about it as people, because in Flint, Michigan, they still have no water. They got lead in the pipes, and they're not doing nothing about it. See, the elites want, if you look up the Georgia Guidestones, they want to depopulate the populace by basically 10%. Something drastic like that. Like billions of people gotta die type thing. So if they feel like they ain't getting the job done fast enough, right? But at the end of the day, it's the Lord, man. The Lord is the one that controls the times. It ain't up to us, right? The second Ezra, chapter 4, verse 37 says, by measure has he measured the times, right? By measure meaning it was strategically weighed out, right? When you're making a pie, right? You're gonna put a little bit of flour, a couple of eggs, right? Some sugar, maybe some vanilla, whatever it is you put in there, right? But you're gonna do it according to measure, according to how much does it need for it to accomplish a perfected cake, right? So you don't want, cake burning or getting too hard or too soft, just perfect, right? Measured out precisely. And we know Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is a master of measuring, masters of measuring, right? He says, by measure has he measured the times, and by number has he numbered the times. And he does not move nor store them until said measure be fulfilled, right? You don't start the cooking unless he has the measurements right. And he's so strategic with it that, I'm saying, he's on time. So this is the Lord's time we're working on. If it was up to the wicked, man, we'd perish immediately. Right? The jab came after Biden administration had faced several days of criticism for downplaying the derailment of a train in East Palestine, Ohio, that was carrying toxic chemicals, including vinyl chloride. After the train derailed, the decision was made to burn off chemicals on the train in order to manage a controlled release into the air in order to avoid a possible explosion. So basically, they said that we're just gonna burn this this vinyl chloride. What's gonna happen to that smoke, right? It's gonna get into the clouds. It's gonna mix with the cloud. It's gonna then turn to rain, possibly acid rain. It's gonna rain on crops, and this is in central Babylon, where a lot of the farmland is as well. Right? You get in the picture. It's gonna come down on the people. Most importantly, the crops. It's gonna affect water. Right? Then in turn, it's gonna affect the economy. And it just snowballs out of control. This is not by accident. This is why they're ignoring the train derailment. Don't forget the storm that's coming around that time. In that area, look it up. After the train derailed, the decision was made to burn of chemicals on the train in order to manage control release into the air in order to avoid possible explosion. That decision created a thick black plume of smoke, and in the days that followed, people reported illness and the death of animals. Man, this could affect whole ecosystems, right? And it's catastrophic if you look at the pattern in which it was. It takes about a third of Babylon. It covers about a third of Babylon. Think about that. Babylon's trying to kill off 1/3. Right? Immediately. So this news is going out throughout the whole world, man, except for our media. Everybody's probably talking about this, pointing this out, but America's keeping it silent. But the ones who are on their watchtowers, right, they're the ones screaming it out, speaking on these things and warning the people, right? Because it has to go out. The nations will see and hear what's going on. Go to Matthew's 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world for a witness unto all the nations, and then shall the end come, right? So we preaching the downfall of this place, the good news, to 1/3 and 144K, right? And it's gonna be preached, man. That's when the end's gonna come. So a lot of stuff has to happen, man. the elect got to be sealed, man. Where it's pretty much coming to a completion now. Now we're much closer to the end than we was, even a year ago. Much closer. It feels like it's right in the back of our necks. Like it's breathing on the back of our necks, man. It cannot be ignored. It cannot be ignored. It's Matthew 16. And start at 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. And he answered and said unto them, when is it evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Right? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. Right? There's going to be people who can see all this happening and still can't tell what's going on or what's the cause of it or what's the next step. They can't see afar. Right? They can't see past, their arms reach, because they don't have the understanding that the elders have and was passed down to the apostles on down and to the affiliate camps who have the 144% truth, man. Call Allah Yahweh Hashem El Shah for that. Right? Because when it gets here, man, you better be mentally and spiritually strong, man. We have to strengthen our spirit, man. What did I want? I wanted was it First Thessalonians? Was it 2? Salaki, give me 1 minute. I can't think of which verse I was talking about. Salaki, man, I couldn't think of what I was looking for, but I do have another one in Luke. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, right? Because we're so continuously supposed to ask the Lord for forgiveness, and watch over us and give us understanding, increase our faith, man. We need these things to be able to be mentally sound to withstand, man. Because without him, man, we can't do it. We can't save ourselves. We can't prep. You know what I'm saying? We can't do none of that. Only the Lord can save us. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Because, you know what I'm saying, he's the one that's going to provide, what to eat, where to go, but if he's not dealing with you, man, you still got to keep the faith, man, because you never know if you're being tried or not. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. On to death. Right? Because everybody's lot ain't going to be smooth, man. You know what I mean? It's going to be brothers is going to be, killed off for this. Others are going to be in prison. Others are going to be, smooth coasting. We don't know. Just don't lose your faith, man. With that, I'm going to say shalom.